unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is all about your love life in January of 2020. As you guys know, each month I create a general prediction for you as well as a separate love reading, because on this channel we love love. So guys, before I get into showing you the 5 groups that you can choose from in order to help you figure out what is happening in your love life in January of 2020, I just wanted to let you guys know that all your favorite pieces have been restocked. So the zodiac necklaces that I'm wearing that are made out of pure solid silver, and they're also plated with solid gold, you guys. I wear these to work out, to shower, like I literally never take my zodiac necklace off. And all of the amethyst rings are back in stock as well. Your favorite, the Empress, as well as the center of attention. Everything is on my website, buildabowlife.com, and the link is down below. Just to keep all of you up to date who have been emailing me, DMing me, commenting, make sure that you don't miss out on the pieces this time. So yeah guys, regarding the 5 groups, they are as follows. We have the red Jasper, we have the clear Quartz, we have the tiger eye, the orchid Calcite, as well as the coffee Obsidian. But the timestamps are down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section for quick and easy access from your laptop or your mobile device. So you guys, I want to keep this intro nice and short so we can spend more time within your individual readings. So I will be starting off the readings with the first group, which corresponds to the red Jasper, and to all the other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the red Jasper, group number 1. So I want to get straight into your reading to help you figure out exactly what is going on in your love life in January of 2020, the first month of the new year. So first and foremost, we have the Devil. So group number 1, I do not want you to fear this card. I do not want you to feel as though anything is wrong. We are merely pointing out the fact that there may be some sort of seductive, mysterious kind of person that comes into your life, and they are not good for you, okay? They are the devil, okay? I know that sounds so dramatic, but honestly, try and keep yourself away from anybody that makes you feel like they're dark and mysterious. And yes, that can be attractive, but at the same time, like, it is not always a good situation. Often, like, the bad boys are really bad for you. And I just want you to keep in mind that the devil also has a lot to do with, you know, excessive drinking, excessive junk food eating, just anything that you do in excess that has to do with addictions. That is one thing that I want you to look out for, because there's a reason why this card is in your reading and why you chose this reading. So make sure that you practice a little bit of temperance. Make sure that you allow yourself to just like chill on the party front, chill on like the self-care front of like eating 5 cakes a day. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're actually taking care of yourself and you're avoiding anything that is bad for you, both people as well as habits and drugs and other substances. So moving further into your reading, we have the 9 of Cups. So in the 9 of Cups, I definitely see that you will be able to have a very nice time emotionally, in the sense of being able to just celebrate all of the people who are already in your life. So in correlation to love, you're not going to feel as though you're missing anything. You're going to feel as though you're already in a room, in a space full of people who love and appreciate you. And that is what really gives you like a glow. That is what really like makes you stand out emotionally in January as somebody who is happy, somebody who is content, and just ready to get things done in life. You know what I'm saying? So then we have the 8 of Wands, as well as the 6 of Pentacles. So first and foremost, in the 6 of Pentacles, one thing that I see here is that financially there is an opportunity for you to make quick, easy money. So it could be like a little side job, it could be like an opportunity that is presented to you. So because we do have the devil in your reading, because we do have the 8 of Wands in your reading, that just shows that, you know, you have to think a little bit outside of the box. I want you to be cautious about this, because sometimes sometimes people come to you with a business idea, or people come to you with a suggestion of like a side hustle, and it is actually a scam. It is actually something that will only benefit them. So in correlation to love, I want you to make sure that you keep like very open eyes, okay? That you make sure that also if this is in love, if somebody is like using your time, if somebody is wanting to spend time with you and you feel like you're the second choice, or you feel like you're their backup plan, like steer clear, okay? Your time is precious, and it's important for you to not spend it so easily, because having time is a luxury, and you should be very cautious of who you decide to grant the privilege of spending time with you, of spending your time. So then in the Eight of Wands, I want you to also focus on just thinking a little bit outside of the box when it comes to love. You know, maybe you can try a different approach. Maybe you can try going to a different bar, or trying a different dating site, or maybe even just hanging out with a different set of people if you can. I know that's not always easy, especially if you're an introvert or somebody who doesn't have a lot of friends. Then most likely in love, it is best for you to try new approaches where you can connect with people who are kind of like in the same position as you're in. Then we have butterflies in gloom, as well as kitsune. So in butterflies in gloom and kitsune corresponds to the number 2, and the butterflies in gloom corresponds to the number 22. So there is a lot of duality happening here, and in butterflies in gloom, I want you to know that you may have gone through like a sad period in love, or you may have felt as though 2019 was maybe not as successful as you wanted it to be. But after this sort of period of sadness, January is a time where hope and happiness return. As we spoke about in the Nine of Cups, this is a celebratory time. This is a time where you're able to really just be happy for the relationships that have lasted and the ones that are still here. And in Kitsune, I want you to know that you will be shown who to trust. You will be shown who is trustworthy in love and who isn't. So if trust is a big thing for you, if it is something where you feel as though you've been burnt many times and you're not quite sure who to trust at this stage in your life in particular, know that there will be signs along the way, and it may have to do with the numbers 222, so look out for those. And I also want you to know that it is important for you to believe people when they show you their true face, okay? If somebody shows you a side of themselves that you don't really enjoy, or that you find very worrying and alarming, know that if they were able to show that side in front of you, even though you don't even know each other that well, imagine how they will be once you're comfortable, you know? So you have to really distinguish between what you're willing to deal with and what is a definite no-go for you, group number 1. So don't feel as though you're being, how should I say, too over the top, or you're being too high maintenance. I mean, at the end of the day, it is about your emotional happiness as well. And as we have here the Nine of Cups, I mean, I only want you to move to fulfillment. I only want you to continue feeling loved and continue feeling grateful for who is in your life. So make sure that you don't feel pressured when it comes to allowing people to act however they want to act, because oftentimes the people who want to pressure you to just allow them to do as they please are usually the people who will like not care if it hurts you. They will not care how negatively it affects you. But let's move further into your reading. We have the Star Mother, we have a Take a Break, we have the Mirror, as well as Protection. So mother healing is possible in January of 2020, but how will that help your love life? So group number 1, I want you to know that when things aren't so great in your relationships, be it say with your mother, your sister, just like somebody in your life who you should be close to, but there's kind of like something going on there that you maybe cannot explain that is having a bad impact on that relationship. I want you to know that that can transcend through all of the parts of your life, you know, through all of your relationships. It can really take a toll on you emotionally, as well as your ability to manifest new love and show new love, because you will always be worried about how you come off. You will always have that little bit of insecurity. And that is one thing that I see here in the Mirror. I see that you might be triggered by another emotional situation in your life that is causing subconsciously a little bit of friction internally within you, that is kind of like slowing your roll when it comes to love. So definitely invest time in your relationships that are already existing in your life, and the already existent relationships, and make sure that you truly figure out like what can you do there in order to rebalance yourself. And you guys, sorry if I make some mistakes while I'm speaking. Sometimes I mix things up with German because you do know I'm half Swiss, okay? So I speak German for all of you who ask. Then, and take a break, I want you to know that it is okay to just take a break in January of 2020 from love. Okay, if you're done with things, if maybe your New Year's crush, your New Year's kiss just totally like faded away, ghosted you, or you're just not with it with that situationship, or you just want a fresh start, sometimes one of the best things that you can do is to just take a break and allow yourself to like distance yourself from love. You don't have to actively go on dates if you don't want to. You don't have to put yourself out there. It is important for you to make sure that you call back your power if you feel like it has been taken from you. And I'm talking about physical power. If you feel exhausted from work or from the last year and you're not really quite sure how that is going to affect your love life, sometimes it is best to just take a few days or weeks to just rest, not even think about love, not even engage with anybody, and just recuperate your strength as well as your ability to love. Because sometimes when you're kind of over the situation, or you're kind of over guys, girls, whoever it is that you're dating, and you're just in a mood, there's nothing good that can come out of that. So group number one, if you're in a funk, allow yourself to just like push through that funk, but don't affect anybody else, and do not allow yourself to let that potentially affect the beginnings of a relationship with a twin flame or a soulmate. So group number one, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home for you and what you're looking forward to for your love life in January of 2020. And I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the clear quartz group number two. I want to get straight into your reading about your love life in January of 2020. So lean back, relax, and enjoy. Get yourself a little cup of tea, a little snack, and let's figure out what's going on for you. So first and foremost, we have the King of Pentacles. So group number two, is this maybe a love interest? Is this maybe somebody who could be interesting in the romantic realms? In the King of Pentacles, I see somebody who is mature, somebody who is possibly older than you biologically, or older than you just like mentally, okay? They know where they stand in life and where they want to go and what is important to them and what isn't, and they're not afraid to express it. So this is somebody who is very secure in themselves, who is not going to allow anybody to shake their beliefs, anybody to shake who they know that they are, and they're proud to be themselves. They're proud to be the person that they have become, that they have spent so much time like adjusting to, okay? Because one thing that I see here is that this person is somebody who has come from a place where maybe they were uncomfortable with themselves, or they were bullied, teased at some point, but they rose from the ashes like a phoenix. And in the King of Pentacles, furthermore, I want you to know that the suit of Pentacles corresponds to earth signs. So this could be an earth sign person, you know, somebody who is just very grounded and dependable. Moving further into your reading, we have the Six of Swords, as well as the Page of Swords and the Queen of Wands. So we have a very, well, more or less kind of even balance here. We have two cards with swords, one with pentacles, one with wands. So I want you to know here that communication is something that is important within your love life of January in 2020. So in the Six of Swords, one thing that I see here is that a situation that is probably one that is a little older, like that chapter will have closed. By that I mean there may have been a situationship or a potential love interest that you once thought could turn into something, but in January of 2020 you will know that that is done and over with, and it may have to do with this King of Pentacles entering your life, or it may just be that you come to a point where you just decide for yourself that that is not what you want anymore. That is not anything that you want to have in your life. You want nothing to do with this person, and you just know that after you've tried, after you sort of like fought for it to work, then, you know, at some point you have to like put it to rest. And in the Page of Swords, I see that you may struggle with that. I see that even if it's somebody who you've already not been in contact with for a while, maybe a few weeks or a few months, it may still really hurt, it may still really sting. But in the Queen of Wands, I see that you will take sort of the initiative to put yourself out there and put your energy into something that is way more productive, that you can get so much more out of for your life. So that could be a hobby, that could be a business venture, that could also be trying to link up with new people again. Either way, know that, you know, let bygones be bygones, as there is more romantic love on the horizon that is much more interesting than what you already know. Then we have the Two of Cups as well as the Four of Swords. So the Two of Cups points very much in the direction of sort of like an emotional relationship forming. Okay, so this could be that you do meet somebody completely new. This could be an indication that you might meet a soulmate or even a twin flame, and just a connection that is flourishing, a connection that is deepened. And in the Four of Swords, I see here that allowing yourself to just, you know, chill out a little bit and not overthink things is what you really need for January of 2020 in your love life. You're probably like a chronic overthinker. You're most likely somebody who likes to instantly like say what they think. That is one thing that I see here in these sword cards, but that is not the vibe that we're going for in January of 2020 in your love life, group number 2. That is not it. We're leaving the impulsive thinking, the impulsive acting behind, and we're going to actually give ourselves time to think things through before we say them. You know, especially at the beginning, don't show that you're unsure where it's going. Don't show that you're insecure about what's going to happen. Just allow yourself to be cool, allow yourself to be in the moment and not worry so much about the future, or try and like constantly bring it up, as that might only scare this potential lover off. Then we have bats in the belfry as well as kitsune. So one thing that I see here in bats in the belfry is that you have the potential to achieve greatness in January of 2020 in regards to your love life. So it's very important for you to know that the power that you have around you is very strong and has a lot to do with manifesting your ideal love life, group number 2. And in Kitsune, I want you to know here that it's important to just keep those around you who have a great impact on you, because anybody who comes in between you and your amazing vibes and the fact that you have so much potential to create great things is just going to like, it's just going to ruffle things up, and we don't need that. Okay, you only need trustworthy people around you who you know want the best for you, and who you know will also be honest with you should they see that something is kind of like a little bit off. Let's move further into your reading. My voice is like all raspy and rusty. Let me take a little sip of my Obsidian water. Okay, so group number 2. Now that we're back, first we have the Priestess, then we have Share Your Voice, as well as the Soul Family. So group number 2, in the Priestess, one thing that I see here is that you're being called to step up in January of 2020. So there's so much going on for you, group number 2. It is really an eventful month for love when it comes to, you know, your life. And I want you to make sure that you're stepping up to the plate, that you're making sure that you're showing up wherever it is that you should be showing up. So if that is a date, if that is a festivity with your friends, whatever that is, make sure that you're not missing out, because the potential for love is there each and every time. So get out of this cave, get out of this place where maybe you've been sort of pulling back a lot. You've sort of been spending a lot of time alone in your own little like comfort zone, in your own little space, but now it's time to step out of it. If you usually don't go out very often, or you're kind of like very withdrawn, know that January of 2020 is really great for you to express yourself. It's really great for you to put yourself out there, as chances for love are really great. Then in the Soul Family, I want you to call in the people who motivate you. You know, you don't have to do it alone. That is all that the soul family is about. When you feel kind of like scared or insecure about going on a date, or, you know, texting this person first, not knowing if you should make the first move, consult in the people who are closest to you. Confide in them about your fears, your feelings, and allow them to give you really amazing advice that will build you up. You always want to surround yourself with people who build you up, who make you feel good, and who inspire you to take positive action. So it's very important for you to also know here that yes, things are going very amazingly for you in January of 2020 in your love life, and there is some astonishing change that is happening. But at the same time, you always want to watch your back. At the same time, you always want to make sure that you like trust nobody, because things can change in an instance, especially with friends, with family. And it's really sad because those are the people where we should theoretically not have to watch our backs. But a lot of friends and family, once things start to blossom and become very beautiful and successful in your life, they can tend to get jealous. They can tend to turn around and all of a sudden not be so kind anymore, and all of a sudden not be so supportive. So look out for that, and only share the information that is necessary with those where you feel like, I'm not quite sure if they will feel some kind of way if they see me thriving. So just a little pointer for you, group number 2, nothing to be too worried about, but as you know, I do want the best for you and your love life. So group number 2, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye group number 3. I want to get straight into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on in your love life in January of 2020. I mean, can you believe it? Already 2020, that's crazy. First and foremost, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So to all my lovely group number 3s, I want you to know in the Ace of Pentacles that there is a new beginning on the horizon, especially when it comes to how you redistribute your time. So this may be that, yes, there is a romantic interest here that is going to require a little bit more time than you had expected, but it may also have to do with you just really focusing on yourself, with you telling yourself, you know what, I'm just going to give things a rest in love. I'm not going to actively do anything. If things fall into place, they fall into place, and if they don't, oh well, I can focus on things in the earthly realms, and that is exactly what the Pentacles are about. Things in the earthly realms, material possessions, as well as, you know, your health, your well-being. So you may just be putting more emphasis on that rather than trying to, you know, like somehow make things work in love. Then we have the Emperor, as well as the Four of Cups. And another thing that we have here is Temperance. So I want you to know here that some things are a little bit out of your control. Some things are just happening that you cannot like sort of readjust. But what you can readjust, okay, that is the Four of Cups. In the Four of Cups, I see a time where you may feel almost like you're a little bit lonely. Okay, so making things work, making things happen in your life can sometimes be a lonely space, especially if you don't necessarily have a partner or friends and family who are on the same level, who are in the same mental space, because you know, sometimes you're so driven, you're so into your goals, your dreams, your aspirations of just making things happen and being successful that you can feel very alone when you don't have like-minded people who can push you along the way and who are interested to listen to all of the experiences that you're going through and to all of the things that you are really into right now, okay? So I want you to not be like to indulge in those kind of emotions too much, to indulge too much in the emotions of feeling lonely, okay? In Temperance, I want you to know that everything has its limits, okay? If you want to play the victim for like 5 minutes, okay, group number 3, I'll give you 5 minutes, like I get it, okay? Been there, done that. If you want to be sad, okay, like have like 5 minutes to cry a little bit, but then you got to move on. And that is one thing that I see here in the Emperor. You always have to keep, you know, your eyes on the prize. You always have to make sure that you're doing what will really get you to your goal. I mean, of course, we're all human, and sometimes we need to have a little a little mental breakdown, if you will, but at the same time, like, you have to be the one to motivate yourself. You have to be the one to tell yourself, let me get back out there. And even if things in love are not going perfectly, even if things are not exactly how I wanted them to be, like, just being sad, just being down is not going to get me to where I want to go. What is, however, going to get me to where I'm aspiring to be is being a positive, is being somebody who is approachable, and is being somebody who is grateful for every experience that I have, whether it's with a twin flame, with somebody who just ends up being an acquaintance, or someone who I realize is just not meant to be with me whatsoever. So allow yourself to really like tune your headspace into the direction of not grading experiences, of not saying this is a good experience and this is a bad experience. Every experience that you're fortunate enough to make in this lifetime is valuable, group number 3, and I don't want you to take those things for granted. Then we have Elizabeth and the Lion. So I see here that it is time for you to become a great leader. It is time for you to put yourself out there in a way how anybody who wants to come into your life romantically will be warned of who you are. So by will be warned, I'm not saying scare them off. I'm not saying put anything out there that is intimidating, but to some people you will just naturally be intimidating, group number 3, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, if you're the person who wants to wear the pants in the relationship, if you're the person who is, for instance, the main breadwinner or wants to be the main breadwinner, and that is like out of the norm for society, so that would be, for instance, if you're a woman, then allow yourself to just make that clear. Allow yourself to step up and lead and just say that this is who you are and this is what you are doing, because it is so important for you to be transparent. Otherwise you might just be wasting your time in love with people who cannot cope with that. Then we have the Mermaid of Immersion. So there is some sense of commitment here, okay? And I feel as though this has a lot to do with commitment to you. This has a lot to do with commitment to everything that you want, not commitment in the sense of getting engaged or married or, you know, just any other commitment in love. I feel like this has a lot to do with you committing to the fact that you're not going to be the victim. You're not going to be the one who allows themselves to be sad. But instead, in January of 2020, the vibe for you is to just like commit to your goals, commit to what you want to achieve. And if somebody wants to be a part of the ride, they are welcome to, but you're not going to slow your roll for anybody. No matter if they are seemingly your twin flame or not, you don't have time for that. You have really big things to accomplish, and I'm proud of you, group number 3. I think it's amazing that you're focusing first and foremost on yourself, but nonetheless being open to allowing somebody in as long as they can respect who you are at the core of your being. Then we have the Star Mother. So in the Star Mother, one thing that I see here is that it is important for you to take time to like mother yourself, okay? So your actual mother might not have time, or for whatever reason might not be able to help you with an issue, and sometimes you just have to give like yourself that motherly advice. So make sure that you start actually taking your own advice, because there are way too many of you out there who have amazing advice to give, but you don't take it yourself, which is actually crazy. So start taking your own advice, especially if it's advice that you would give to your best friend, that you would give to somebody that you really care about and love. Like, do the same thing for you, group number 3. Then we have Get Grounded, the Priestess. And what else do we have here? The Crumbling. Okay, so in Get Grounded, one thing that I see is that you are able to connect with nature, okay? You're probably a natural empath. You're probably somebody who is just naturally very understanding, and you always try and understand other people and their feelings, which is amazing, group number 3. But getting grounded is something that is important and that is not practiced enough in the Western society, okay? When was the last time that your bare feet have actually touched solid ground? When is the last time that you actually allowed yourself to stand, sit, lay in, you know, the field, in a grass, on the ground, and really feel like the vibration of the earth? So make sure that you make time for that in January of 2020, as I see that that will really help realign your chakras, which will also make you more like, I don't want to say lovable, like more, more approachable, more of somebody that people feel like they can speak to about anything, and just more of the kind of person that people want to listen to and follow because you are well balanced. And that is one thing that I see in the priestess. I see that you have a lot of power, okay? I see that in the emperor as well. You're somebody who likes to plan ahead, and where people really find you very mature, especially for your age and for probably like where your background is. So you may, for instance, have gone to college, or you have not gone to college. Either way, what I'm saying is like your background may be like in one area, maybe you studied something, maybe you started like learning a specific kind of job, but your knowledge goes far beyond that. And you being able to properly like use it and communicate it and to allow people to see that has a lot to do with leading in a very loving and empathetic way. So don't just like nurture yourself, don't just be a natural empath with other people when it is outside of your work life. Make sure that even in school, at your job, whatever it is that you do, lead in the kind of way where nobody has to be afraid if their opinion is different from yours, where nobody has to worry that you might not like their idea, if you know what I mean. And last but not least, in the crumbling, I see here that in love, a lot of things are going to change, okay? January of 2020 is like the opening of a new chapter, the opening of a new era that you may have not expected, and it's really going to just all like tumble down on you. That is one thing that I see in the crumbling, and there is nothing that can hold it together, okay? There is no super glue that can fix this. There's nothing that can keep your old patterns and your old beliefs of love together. So allow yourself to be open to these changes. It may be that you completely change your perspective on what you want love to be or what you want to allow into a relationship, but it could also be that you just think to yourself like, actually, I don't want to get married. Actually, I never want children, or actually, I really need to get out of my comfort zone and be that person who approaches other people first. So group number 3, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that it gave you a little bit of insight. I truly hope that it gave you the clarity that you needed. Let me know down below what piece of advice really stuck with you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Orchid Calcite group number 4. I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly what your love life holds in stock for you for January of 2020. So first and foremost, we have the 3 of Pentacles, but can I just say, like, how crazy is it that we're already entering 2020? I feel like it's just yesterday that I thought like a number that high would never come for me. But anyways, moving back into your reading, one thing that I see here in the 3 of Pentacles, we have signs that are connected to the earth, okay? That are connected to all of the earth zodiac signs. So in correlation to that, I want you to know that collaborating probably with earth signs is what will really be beneficial for you in love. So it could be that someone of an earth sign comes into your life who is a romantic interest, or it could just be that that will allow you to get into a friend group, a friend circle, or meet somebody through an earth sign that is meant to be for you in love, or maybe a very interesting person to just be around temporarily. But let's move further into your reading. We have Judgment, the Sun, as well as the Magician. So a lot of things here are out of your control, group number 4, because these are all major arcana cards, which means that you cannot influence them all that much, which you are most likely going to be happy about when you hear about the Sun. So the Sun has everything to do with happiness, love, joy, and just a time where you can like relax, where you can just be happy for everything that you have, okay? It's also a great time for growth, because the Sun is really the giver of all life on this planet. Without the Sun, we couldn't exist. All the other creatures on this planet couldn't exist. So know that in the Sun, we literally only have happy, good news for the vibe of January in 2020. In Judgment, I want you to know that you have to be a little bit careful how you view things though, okay? I don't want you to jump straight to a decision or a conclusion about a situation just because everything is going extremely well. So you may feel very desirable in January of 2020, and that may get you to a headspace where you're almost like cocky, where if somebody has an interest in you, you just automatically like say to yourself like, oh no, like this is not the kind of person for me. I'd rather wait for the next person because, you know, everyone's lining up to be with me. So obviously I'm saying this in a very exaggerated way, group number 4, but don't take anybody for granted. Don't push anybody to the side just because you have like a first impression that is in a way that you would not consider for a relationship. Furthermore, in the Magician, one thing that I see here is that when it comes to love, you know, pull out all the stops. Put yourself out there in multiple different ways. Try online dating, try to meet people through being with your friends, your family, and also allow yourself to be very like receptive to just chatting somebody up in public. So if that's not something that you feel comfortable doing, if that's not something that you want to actually move forward and like make the first step with, that is completely okay. But know that how you present yourself in public also decides over whether you meet somebody in public. I mean, obviously, if you're just like walking through life with, you know, like a resting bitch face, then people are going to be less likely to talk to you. And a lot of us cannot help it, okay? A lot of us, like, that is just our natural facial expression. When I'm not speaking to somebody, like my face is literally just like, who would want to talk to that? Can you blame people? No, but not everybody has that issue. And if you do have that issue, you know, just try and do the little like raise your eyebrows a little bit, that just like or brighten things up. And okay, why am I giving you these tips? Just be yourself, okay? Don't do the crazy tips that I am like telling you to do. These are just ways how I have been able to combat the resting bitch face, but obviously like I don't want you to feel as though you have to do all of those things, as though you have to like smile and put up your eyebrows a little so you seem like you're here and you're happy, you know? But it is a possibility. It is something that you can do, group number 4. Then we have Deep Dark Sea Mermaid. So in the Deep Dark Sea Mermaid, one thing that I see here is that you can find love in very like unknown places, and places where you would have never expected it. So maybe you never expected to meet somebody at the vet or at your school, or just like somewhere where you spend time, but it's not really like the meeting place for romantic interest. So that is one thing that I see in January of 2020, like a very interesting mixture of potential places where you can meet somebody in love. Then we have Butterflies and Gloom. So in Butterflies and Gloom, one thing that I see here is a lot of happiness and hope returning into your life, a lot more of that sort of like spring being back in your love life, of that confidence. So if your confidence has been knocked in the past from a past relationship or from just something that didn't go as intended, know that like January of 2020 is a great time for that confidence to come straight back up to where it needs to be, because confidence is really important for your love life. And just the fact that everything is going in your favor, you know that we have good fortune here in the sun, that is going to allow you to feel a little bit less down, a little bit less depressed about things that have transpired in the past. Then we have Awakening, Keepers of the Earth, as well as the Starseed. So you may be a starseed, you may be somebody who constantly feels as though they're not quite home, someone who constantly feels as though things could be improved, like you're looking for something but you don't know what it is. So that is one of like the typical traits of the starseeds. But I want you to know here that in correlation to Awakening, you may come to a point where you all of a sudden realize that, hey, love is maybe not supposed to be traditional for me. Maybe I am not meant to be the person who gets married at 25 and has their first kid at 27 and just lives a happy, you know, Real Housewives kind of life. Maybe that is not me. Maybe I'm way more happy with just my dogs and my family for now, and I will just allow things to happen. So obviously, group number 4, this is just an example, okay? If you want to be that person who gets married, who has children before 30, who leads their, you know, housewife kind of life, that is completely up to you. And I don't want you to allow anybody to judge you for that. And, you know, especially if that is something that you want and you feel like it's hard to achieve, or you feel like people will judge you if you become that person, like just forget about them, okay? Just allow yourself to forget about their opinions and not even let that enter your head. it is so important for you to continue pursuing what you want. Maybe you want to be the primary, the primary breadwinner. Maybe you want to be the person who brings home everything that your partner needs, who takes care of their stay-at-home mom, who takes care of their babies, and that is completely fine. If that is what gives you purpose and passion, and other people are side-eyeing that, that is their issue, not yours. As long as you're happy, group number 4, continue pursuing that fantasy and do not settle for something that is not that. Then in the Keepers of the Earth, I want you to know here that you're not alone, okay? There are other people who desire the same thing that you want from love, even if you feel like you're weird, even if you feel like you're the odd one out. Do not allow yourself to think that you're the only one. Other people have most likely also thought about doing what it is that you're trying to pursue, and maybe they've been stopped by friends and family who are concerned, who are voicing their unsolicited opinions all the time, but that does not need to be you. So group number 4, I definitely see that you need kind of like this push to allow yourself to know that in love, it's okay to love whoever you want to love. It's okay to be with whoever you want to be with, to lead the life of your choice, the love life of your choice, and don't allow anybody to ever take that away from you. We have judgment here, so not only should you not judge people instantly, but you should also not allow people to judge you. Set those boundaries, group number 4, because being judged in love is the worst thing, and it can keep you lonely for a very long time. So group number 4, this is a reading that I received for you. I hope that it gave you clarity. I hope that it gave you motivation as well as inspiration. If it did, let me know down in the comment section what really hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 5, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Coffee Obsidian, group number 5, and I want to get straight into your reading to figure out what is going on in your love life in January of 2020. So let's get right into it, shall we? First and foremost, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So group number 5, I want you to know that whenever things have been down and they will come back up, okay? Things balance themselves out. And furthermore, in the Wheel of Fortune, I want you to know that in correlation to love, like if there were no sad times, if there were no disappointments, if there were no emotions that are not positive, then how would you experience joy? How would you experience love? If you couldn't experience hate or indifference, how could you experience anything that is positive? So be happy for each and every emotion, and don't judge them by saying this one's good and that one's bad. Then we have the Two of Wands. So we have fire sign energy show up in your reading, and furthermore in the Two of Wands, one thing that I see here is that in correlation to love, okay, you're meant to be with somebody where you kind of take on the world together. You take over the world together, actually, group number 5. And you're kind of okay, I really don't like this expression because I think it's kind of just not cute. It's just not up my alley, but you're meant to be with somebody where you're a power couple, okay? I can't believe I said that, but you get the idea, okay? You motivate each other, you're there for each other, and you're the kind of people who can also work together. And that is something that is very rare, that not a lot of people are capable to do with their partner. Then we have the Five of Pentacles as well as the Ace of Cups. Okay, so in the Ace of Cups, we have a new beginning emotionally. So there is definitely a good chance for love to start to blossom, for love to start to flourish in January of 2020. So allow yourself to just chill. Don't feel like there's too much pressure there, because the Ace of Cups is a great opportunity for you to also just strengthen the already existing relationships. As I can see here in the Five of Pentacles, that for some reason you're worried about something else. You're worried about your health, your financial situations, maybe your job, or maybe you're just kind of unhappy with the grades that you've been getting, or each time you get a paycheck, you're disappointed and you're asking yourself, what am I going to do about this? Because I either stay in this job or in this situation where I'm unhappy, where I'm not thriving, or I change something about it, but it's scary and it makes you feel almost like you're alone, especially if nobody around you has done it before. So if nobody around you has graduated from an amazing university, or has started their own business, or become the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, it can be hard because you feel like you have to do everything by yourself, and you feel like you have to go through all of these emotional ups and downs without anybody understanding you and anybody being there for you, really, group number 5. So I totally get you, okay? It's difficult, but at the same time, like, know that in January of 2020, not only is there a possibility for love, but there's also a possibility for like platonic love to really get to a point that you have never felt so much support in your life before. Then we have a loyal guardian as well as the beautiful little worm. So in the beautiful little worm, I want you to know that your guides first and foremost want you to protect yourself. They feel as though you haven't really been doing yourself as many favors as you probably should. They feel as though maybe you have been kind of like neglecting yourself, and what you need to do is treat yourself as the delicate, beautiful being that you are, because sometimes we can forget that, you know, life is fragile, our mental health is fragile, especially in correlation to love. If things have been a little bit difficult or you're not quite where you would want your love life to be. And furthermore, one thing that I see here in the loyal guardian is that if you do have a pet, you know, a dog, a cat, or just a rodent, I mean, I love rodents, I own rodents, and you can get a lot of power from them. You can derive a lot of like love and motivation through allowing yourself to be around four-legged friends or however many legged friends and just leeching off their good vibes. And I know that that sounds so like a vampire, but know that, you know, they're very happy to give love. That is one thing that I really appreciate about animals. When you feel down, they are there for you. When you feel like giving up, they always have like this smile on their face. They always have this joy to continue surviving and to continue to do life. So allow yourself to be inspired by that. And if you feel like, you know, animals don't resonate as much with you as somebody who is like almost like a guardian, somebody who is almost like a parent figure, then allow that person to really be your rock in January of 2020, because as I said, there is a possibility for a new romantic beginning, but at the same time, it may also be one that has to do with your platonic relationships being revived. So then we have, you're already doing it, yes, as well as the Council of Light. So group number 5, I see that it's important for you to know that you're already doing everything that you can do in order to attract the best possible outcome in your love life. And sometimes things just take a little bit of time. So in the Council of Light, I want you to know that divine orchestration is just constantly happening, okay? And sometimes you just need to like allow it to do its thing. It can take time, and all you can do right now, group number 5, is just stay on this path, okay? You're on the right path. Say yes to it. Allow yourself to be open-minded and to also just commit to many different things. I see as though, yes, life might be hectic, but at the same time, it would really be beneficial for you to go on more dates, to say yes to seeing new things, to going on adventures with your friends and your family. So if you've been more of like a hermit, more of somebody who has appreciated their alone time, let yourself be out there right now. Let's add 2 more cards to your reading. So we have Bats in a Belfry, as well as you are unlike anybody else. So one thing that I see for you in Bats in the Belfry is that you can achieve great things in January of 2020. Do not take that for granted, group number 5. It is very important for you to know that even if like love is not perfect, other things are perfect, okay? Other things do have so much opportunity that you can say to yourself, wow, my life really is amazing. You know, this dish that I'm eating that tastes so amazing really is perfect. This moment really isn't perfect. And I want you to keep in mind, yes, okay, like nothing is really ever perfect, but you can just imagine it to be perfect. You can just tell yourself, yes, this is perfect. You can just tell yourself that you don't need to add anything to a moment or a situation to make it better. You can induce your own satisfaction with your life and everything that is in your life, group number 5. And in You're Unlike Anybody Else, I want you to know here that everything that makes you different, you know, all of your contradictions, all of your complexities, everything where people say like, oh, you know, that doesn't like go together. So for instance, you may be a vegetarian or a vegan, but you may wear leather, or you may be somebody who loves environmental causes, but at the same time, you also love cars, okay? You also love things that are not good for the environment, and people feel as though that just doesn't go together, it doesn't fit, it kind of contradicts itself. And I want you to know that everything about you that is contradictory, everything about you that is so different, makes you very interesting, and to the right people, they will appreciate it and they will see that you have your own little logic that you've put together. So don't feel as though in love you're being judged. Don't feel as though you have to be this certain person, or because you're doing one thing one way, your entire life has to be like that. You can decide who you want to be, okay? You can be somebody who contradicts themselves. You can be somebody who has a lot of little complexities, and that is completely fine. I do not want you to change a thing about yourself because you feel like progress is slow. As I said, things are happening, okay? You just got to keep going on this path, group number 5, and you just got to make sure that you still remain loving to yourself, that you never feel as though you're unlovable just because progress is slow, or just because, you know, you're sleeping every night with your cat or your dog. That's completely fine. That's love. Maybe not the type of romantic love, but it is still love that is worthy of your appreciation, as well as you just feeling 100% grateful no matter what is happening romantically. So group number 5, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful and that it motivated you. Let me know down below what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.